Hello guys, it's KanOfSoda and welcome back to Pixel Record Podcast. Now, I know it's been so long since I've done the podcast. Well, I've gotten lazy or haven't not had any ideas or been very unmotivated. Maybe all of the above. But this just came up today and I just want to talk about my emotions about it. So as you can tell by the title, Donald Trump, the former president of the United States, has finally been arrested. It's been about time. He's been getting away with so much of this for so long with all his power, especially his political power, and the people that helped him get to where he is unfairly, and not to mention that he tried to overturn the election, tried to take people's voices, and especially the January 6th riots. So now he's finally been arrested. It's something I've been waiting for so long. So yeah, let's take it back to the beginning. So as you all know, he's been wanting to run for president for a really long time. I'm not sure if it was prior to that Simpsons episode that predicted his victory, but wow, that Simpsons episode must have been crazy. It's crazy how they predicted a lot of stuff. But anyway, he's been wanting to run for president for a long time. He hasn't been well known and all that. Well, he wasn't like an A-lister, but in 2015, when he announced he was going to run for president, I learned straight away that he was a very hateful and racist guy, especially towards Hispanic people. And you all know all that stuff, how he wants to build a wall. And he's also, very racist, sexist, all of that. So then he goes up against Hillary Clinton. And then he unfortunately wins. I believe he won with the electoral vote, but not the popular vote. I believe the popular vote is based on the population, all the specific number of individuals, while the electoral is just based on the state's ratio, overall population. Basically, it's different, just a certain number. A state will have a certain number, depending on how many people in their state. Like California will have a big number since they have a large population, and they will base it off that. And the president with the most electoral votes will win. So I think the electoral vote is very outdated. Also, there's, as you all know, there's been evidence that Russia has also interfered with the election, especially since he's buddies with Vladimir Putin, which I thought was pretty sus, and I had a feeling that the Russians had some part in the election. So yeah, Trump won. We had 4 years of hell. Basically, I remember there's one thing he was doing. It was the immigrant family separation back in 2018, where immigrants at the border, the kids were getting separated by their parents. That was not cool. And there was a bunch of other stuff which I can't name on the top of my head, but I do know he did a lot of other terrible criminal stuff that he has gotten away with so long. And also, not to mention the fact that he's so immature and petty for a president. It's quite scary how someone as powerful as him, with the immaturity of a 10-year-old, or maybe younger, because I'm pretty sure a 10-year-old will be smarter than him, has so much followers who brainlessly support him. It's literally a cult. I'm not even joking. That's the definition, the dictionary definition of a cult. A group of people who worship one person. And they obviously worship Trump, who is just as brain dead as these followers. So yeah, he wasn't that great, and if you remember the COVID pandemic, it was very bad. A lot of people were dying around the world. Trump wasn't taking it seriously. I really wanted to go back outside and actually do stuff, because once we all went to lockdown, I really started to miss going outside a lot, especially since it happened during my freshman year of college, because it's not a good time in your life for when a pandemic hits. So yeah, Trump wasn't taking it too seriously. I wanted to get my vaccine. I wanted to get out. And ironically, he got COVID. LMAO, right? So things were bad with him, and then Joe Biden comes along and gets elected. I remember that election day of 2020. It was my very first time actually voting in a presidential election. So I got tired of Trump. So even if I wasn't much of a Biden supporter, I honestly preferred Bernie Sanders, to be honest. I was getting really tired of Trump being in the White House for 4 years, and I just wanted him out. So that's why I voted for Biden and Harris. So yeah, I remember that day. This is for record for future generations who would like to know what happened, considering it's going to go in history books. It took a couple days for the election results to come out since it was so intense. I was closely watching the news, like looking at the election results. One time when I would see Trump go up, oh no, we can't let this happen. Seeing a Biden get a vote, yay. I do know the state I lived in at the time, it was happening. Georgia, I still live here by the time of recording this. It was a red state for several years, red Republican, blue is Democrat, in case you didn't know. It was red for a long time, so thanks to me and a bunch of other people who voted in the election, Georgia turned blue. It's one of the many things that helped Biden win the election. But obviously, Trump being Trump he obviously wasn't happy about it. So he became the immature guy that he was and tried to say that the election was stolen. And I do remember he tried to have people like recount the votes to make sure that the election wasn't stolen, and it was not stolen. It was a fair play. People were obviously tired of him, including me, and no wonder they voted for Biden. So there. He couldn't accept the fact that he lost, so he tried to make up lies, not just like the election was overturned, it was like stolen from him, blah, 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 and that it was like miscounted. I remember one of his tweets were like, stops the count. And this stuff, as funny as it is, it's very dangerous because America is meant to be a democracy, a free country, and people have a right to vote properly, fairly, and whoever wins, wins, as much as I didn't like how Trump won those years ago. And whether you like it or not, those are the results, and that's something you're going to have to deal with. But obviously, Trump did not want to deal with it, so he's like screaming and complaining and all that, And if you try to claim that the election was like overturned, and if you're trying, not overturned, it's stolen, I guess it's the same thing, stolen. And if you're trying to get yourself to win, you're basically taking away the rights of the people. And that is not what America is supposed to be. It's a democracy. The people have decided. Oh wow, that really quote The Phantom Menace, didn't I? Those are great movies. But anyway, obviously Biden won, yippee. I was so excited to finally have an actual good president that will actually present for once instead of being a narcissistic asshole. So, that's when January 6th comes along. Trump still believes that the election was stolen, and with his stupidity and his followers' stupidity, he managed to make them believe that the election was stolen, even though it wasn't. So I remember he apparently told his followers to fight like hell, and that's what they did at the U.S. Capitol. I did not think that a raid on the Capitol will happen. It's probably the most craziest, unexpected thing since probably 9/11. But I mean, the difference, probably not good comparison because 9/11 was a whole lot more deadly. It was so horrible, but at the same time, both is still technically an attack on our country, if you know what I mean. But I guess what makes January 6th different is it was not from terrorists from another country, but it was actual citizens trying to raid the Capitol, I remember at the same time the raid was happening. Apparently, the governors, senators in the Congress where it was taking place, they were like trying to like count the votes, all that, making sure, hey, Biden won fair and square, deal with it. They were trying to raid the office, like they vandalized a lot of government property. As I said, how is anyone that stupid able to come up with such a thing? I would honestly be too scared to do something like that because I'm smart and I know that doing something as crazy as that, plus all the Karen videos, the Karen freakout videos I watch, it could get you arrested. So yeah, people stormed on the Capitol, trashed government property, which is a crime. And I know there was one dude who like was chilling at Nancy Pelosi's desk with her laptop and all that, and was trying to flex. He was probably surprised when he got arrested. So yeah, it felt like it was like very unexpected that day. It was like cloudy outside. I was like, holy shit, what do I do? I cannot believe this was happening. But it was also very laughable because you gotta understand that Trump supporters, they don't have a brain. They just do what their leader tells them to. And they make a fool, and they try to make stance, but they always end up being stupid and dumb, which is really, really funny. Some of their stuff is just so laughable. Like, dude, you not have something better to do other than get angry that your leader lost? Like, dude, you lost. Deal with it. It's ironic because I remember someone mentioned that back in 2016 when Trump won, these supporters were like, hey, y'all lost. We won. Deal with it. And now they are being told that they lost and they have to deal with it. And they're mad. So, hypocrisy at its finest. Am I right? Because that's what they are. I feel like one of the biggest things I can get out of that January 6th riot was how Mike Pence, the vice president of Donald Trump, he actually did not side with Trump and chose to side with the Constitution, which, even if you don't agree with Mike Pence's politics, he was actually very, very smart to not side with a president that was trying to take away people's rights and decisions. So I'm very glad that he decided to do the right thing instead of doing it because his friends want him to. So I think he's very brave for doing that. It's very rare that you get something like this. And as I said, even if you may not like Mike Pence's politics, even if you don't agree with him, I don't know much about him, but I definitely don't agree with him on his politics, but he is a true example of a good American who knew exactly what the right thing was. So yeah, from that instant, he got impeached for a second time, which is laughably embarrassing. And of course, people still support him. And of course, he was trying to run for president again. Like, dude, no one wants you back. And people, he was like I know he was trying to run for president again for a 2024 election. And part of me is like saying, please don't come back. But of course, we have other people we have to worry about, like Ron DeSantis, who also sucks. And I'm hoping he does not win. I'd rather have like maybe another Democrat or Biden reelected or something like that. Just anyone that's not Republican or someone who isn't bad, I guess. Even if you don't agree with what Biden does, at least he's better than Trump, if that makes sense. And as you remember, during the past year, Trump has been caught in other scandals like the Mar-a-Lago thing. I just found out just now after researching that it's apparently a resort club area for rich people created by Donald Trump for business people apparently. And apparently he got into scandals or something like that. I'm not entirely sure what's about, but I know it's about like classified documents. It could be similar to Watergate. I'm not sure. I don't know much about Watergate. I do know that there was a scandal there that Nixon was involved in, but it sounds like a similar situation. So yeah, he's investigating on that and a bunch of other stuff, especially trying to overturn the election, which is a criminal offense, taking away people's rights. And now he and other corrupt politicians who have been helping him are finally arrested. Now the turns have tabled. This is so embarrassing. I hope this goes down in history. As you all know, Trump will forever be known as one of the most worst presidents of America. And I am very happy that he finally got arrested, because we've all been waiting so long for this, and just seeing the mugshot, even if it's a huge jump scare for me, puts a smile on my face. Because, yay. I mean, it's been something we've been waiting for so long, as I said, and I just want to give my opinion about it, because it's such a great moment when people like this are caught. So yeah, that was my podcast today. I hope you all enjoyed. And I'll probably get lazy in the future, but who knows? I'll see you later. Bye.